feel like it was just totally botched. Like if Gregory left for another team, so be it. But the way that like all this came out just doesn't look good for the Cowboys front office.
Another one, Randy Gregory, defensive end, which kind of came off the heels of DeMarcus Lawrence restructuring his contract, which I was surprised about because I thought y'all would keep Randy Gregory. Apparently, he was very close to staying. It was even reported that he would stay, and then last minute, apparently due to some changing of the contract language, he decided to go to Denver. What were your thoughts on this whole situation, John?
Really disappointed. I feel like it was just totally botched. Like if Gregory left for another team, so be it. But the way that like all this came out just doesn't look good for the Cowboys front office. And I don't think it looks good for potentially signing other free agents because all of a sudden you're hearing reports that, oh, they agreed to a deal, but then they tried to change it afterwards. Like that's just shady.
It's not good business.
I don't like that at all. And apparently it was Stephen Jones, Jerry's son. It wasn't even Jerry. And so I really hate that. That it was just really disappointing. I don't mind losing Randy Gregory and I texted you this. I mean, Gregory, he's a great player and he had a really good season last year, but his career best season is 6 sacks. And DeMarcus Lawrence, I love him, but he's sort of similar in production that he doesn't get massive sack totals, but he's like a great run defender, gets a lot of pressure, all that kind of stuff, can help other guys get the sacks. So getting 2 guys like that, I'd rather get someone on the opposite side, like when we had Robert Quinn, who came in, he just got 14 because he was opposite of DeMarcus Lawrence and was able to finish the job. So I'd rather get someone like that. But yeah, I just really wasn't a fan of how the Cowboys handled the Randy Gregory situation. I think it's a good get for the Broncos. They get a great pass rusher. He's also a great run defender. I think that's an underrated part of Randy Gregory's game. But I don't know if you saw this. The key language that the Cowboys tried to add was that they could void the contract if Gregory ever got fined or suspended for a drug-related offense. Which, knowing Randy Gregory's history, he has been suspended and fined for that many times. Now, I believe the NFL has changed the rules on marijuana, so it's far less likely that's to happen. But no other teams apparently do this. The Cowboys have started to do this over the last year. So apparently all the contracts that every player signed over the last year has been included except for Dak Prescott. I don't know what Dak's doing, that he wanted that out there. But anyway, Randy, he saw that and he said, nope, I'm out. And apparently the deal was also, I've heard that the money was the same, but I think the Broncos offered like more guaranteed money over the contract. So he flipped. I don't blame him. He's looking out for himself. I've seen a lot of Cowboys fans have started saying that he's betrayed the Cowboys and all this kind of stuff because DeMarcus Lawrence took the pay cut, and that was to help free him up. And that's what I thought too. But at the end of the day, I do not blame Randy at all for looking out for himself, for his family. Because of the suspensions and stuff over the years, he has not been able to really cash in. Obviously, he's still a millionaire, but like not to this extent where he got $70 million. So this is the biggest contract that he's had so far throughout his career. And I do not blame him for wanting to protect the contract. So I wish him the best, and I am not a fan of the way that the front office handled this.
Also, side fact, just in case people don't know, there are shops in Colorado where you can just go and get your goods as opposed to where it's illegal in Texas. So imagine he's like, well, I'm going to get more money and it's easier to do the things I want to do in my off time. Can't blame him.
And they can't take away my entire contract for a fine. A fine, Chow. Think about that. He got fined like $2,000 and the Cowboys could take away the whole deal. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's and that's sketchy because once again, I think you hit on the head. I mean, you're kind of a hypocrite if you're saying if you're one of the people out there criticizing Randy Gregory for taking more money. I mean, we would all do it if our job if another job came to you today, John, or even me, said, hey, I'm going to offer you 40% more and you're going to be doing kind of the same thing basically. I'm going to say yes, I'm out. Like I'm getting paid 40% more to do the same thing basically. I don't know what person wouldn't take that. Especially when you're talking about millions too. And you mentioned more guaranteed money. But in terms of the fit for Denver, I mean, it seems like at first it seemed like Von Miller was kind of going to be coming back, but now we don't know. Apparently, LA, the Rams are really trying hard to keep him there. regardless, I think Denver wasn't going to sit around and wait for him, so they added Randy Gregory opposite of Bradley Chubb. So I text you, it's ironic because they passed on him, probably because then the drug thing came up. I think around the draft time, they got Shane Ray. He didn't really pan out. So it's ironic that they got Randy Gregory here, but good fit for a Denver team, especially that needs size up front. I know he's a defensive end, but I think he's a little bit bigger.
Like 6'6".
Yeah, just a bigger
6'5".
just a bigger person, human being, not just height, but just girth wise than Von Miller at this point. Now, Von may be a better pass rusher, but I think Randy's probably maybe a little bit better for the run defense. So we'll see. Once again, I think they're changing up their defense too because Vic Fangio's out. But yeah, in terms for Dallas, it sucks. But once again, maybe with that first round pick, there's a good amount of edge rushers. Maybe they say, okay, we lost Randy, maybe we can get one of these guys that because I know there's the kid out of there's just like 4 or 5 pass rushers that I haven't done any homework on, but I've seen have been in the first round. So maybe Dallas goes okay, or maybe they get one of these other guys on the market. There's
I will say I haven't heard any like credible rumors except for one, and that was that DeMarcus Ware put out a video on Instagram saying that he got off the phone with Von Miller, and he didn't like say that Von told him anything, but he said, "Listen, guys, Von, if you're watching, Von Miller, DeMarcus Lawrence, Micah Parsons sounds pretty good, doesn't it?" And then Von Miller responded in the comments with the eyeball emoji. That means nothing because Von's been teasing everybody.
Yeah,
but it's something. So
and he did go to school at Texas A&M. I believe he is from Texas
grew up in
too.
Texas.
So the fit's kind of there as well. But
now the sucky part is that because the contract came out of what Gregory had agreed to, he can use that as leverage to say, well, I know you have this much money available. You need to pay me more because I'm better than him.
2 rings. So,
we'll
see what happens there. But in regards to Randy Gregory, we'll see how it goes. But I imagine he'll at least be a solid player for Denver going forward. And I expect Dallas. I don't think Dallas will be in shambles just because he left. I think y'all will find a way to make it work. You still have the main piece in Micah Parsons and Trevon Diggs. So and DeMarcus Lawrence. So the world's not falling out from under y'all. So y'all will be fine. It's okay, Cowboy fans. Don't throw hate at him his way. You'll be fine out there. Plenty of other ways to fill that need.